I'm going to be reading a section from my nonfiction essay entitled Changing Feathers. The winter of 23 has been harder than the last I spent in Seattle, though not because of the cold. It's actually been a warmer season than most, but because of the lingering dark, the distance between me and the rest of my flock. It has been lonely and quiet. It's cloudy, fog hanging on the edges of buildings whenever I manage to make my way out of my apartment, and the fog clings to me too, my thoughts, like thinking through smoke. I'm not sure what has happened to me. I used to love being by myself, used to love the stillness, the silence, always knowing exactly what would happen because it was my choice. I would prefer it even, spending weeks alone, only leaving to collect groceries. But now I walk around my apartment with music blaring through earbuds, talking to myself, listening to podcasts so I can make believe someone is in the room with me. I don't know if it is a sign of me getting better or worse. Is it good that I can't stand my own company anymore? That I wish I was surrounded by friends, listening to someone else's bird song? Or is it bad that some days I cannot stand being alone with my own body? Either way, I'm tired and sad, waiting for the winter to end. I can feel myself wallowing, a conscious awareness that I'm letting myself steep in loneliness like loose teeth. I desperately try to force myself into motion, but I cannot seem to help it. I'm lonely and I'm whining about it. I wallow, but not for the same reasons I used to. Better or worse, at least it's growth in some direction, some change. It's been so long since I felt like I've changed, yet at the same time, I feel like I am exactly how I have always been. I'm still learning to hold two opposing truths at once. Birds are masters of cold weather, waterfowl especially. In the colder months, the pigeons, finches, and sparrows fluff up round and plump, feathered orbs, like Christmas tree ornaments or snow globes with little beaks or feet poking out from under the down. The sudden expansion isn't a result of bulking up with food, but rather the density of their feathers. It's similar to the human body's goosebumps, when the skin of the arm or leg suddenly dots, prickles, and the fine hairs on the skin stand out on end. It's the body's way of maintaining heat, making insulation out of whatever bit of fur there is. For the birds, their feathers insulate, outer feathers wicking away the chill, inner downy circulating warmth. They can tuck one foot into their body, then the next, continually warming themselves, their own heating blanket. Some birds even conserve energy by letting their body temperatures drop overnight. A black-capped chickadee can lower their body temperature to 22 degrees Fahrenheit, slipping into a miniature hibernation, allowing them to save their energy for daytime when it is easier to forage. My friends tell me that I'm warm when I pull them into a hug or reach for a hand. It's usually said with a gasp, a laugh, a tighter squeeze. We compare our warmth to each other, nestle in tighter. I let them take whatever heat they need. It's new. I didn't used to be warm. I was a frail, frightened thing when I was younger. Anemic and weak, warmth dripped out of my fingertips and left me frigid and clammy at all hours. In high desert summers, I could be found in a hoodie and jeans, splayed out in the sun like a lizard. I was rarely out past sundown, preferring my bed to cool desert nights. I was cold and lethargic, and now I am warm and restless. I can't make sense of my own contradictions, my own changing body. I am a bird at heart, in the brain, but the desert landscape is in my body, oscillating between freezing and sweltering. I am open sky, cloudless, sun-beaten, and starlit, and I'm the red-tailed hawk that cuts through the airspace, my wings caressing the blue sky as I hunt prey between the yucca and saguaro. I'm not sure what it means exactly, to intersect the self, to be predator and ecosystem at once, individual but crawling with life. I'm trying to make sense of it still, what it means to be both. This is another new thing I am trying to understand, my desire to speak about myself like this, my desire for the extended metaphor, my desire to mix the metaphors into mush and then try to separate them out again. In the first spring I spent in the city, I began to notice birds I hadn't seen before. They were sparrow-sized, with bright ginger backs and dark heads, a gorgeous white belly. They were puffed up and round in the early season. I took pictures, consulted my bird guides and apps, and learned they were dark-eyed juncos, common birds all across the West Coast. In fact, I had seen them before, but these ones had plumage that I didn't recognize. Here they had Oregon coloration, which was common further north. That variation had a more defined difference between the color of their body and head. In California, I had only ever seen their slate coloration, a smooth rustic gray, but with the same shape, the same white feathers under the tail and on the belly, the same bright beak. It was strange that birds I had known all my life were suddenly unfamiliar to me, wearing different colors despite being the same species. On the fringe borders where two colorations of the birds meet, they can still mate with each other, further changing their shade, but their ability to breed confirmed they were of the same species. These were all the same bird, all the same juncos with the same beaded eyes and quick, flittering movements. And I wondered if I was the same bird too, just in a different shade. Had moving here, 2 states and 1,200 miles away from where I had grown up, changed something about me intrinsically? I was pretty sure it had. Videos of me from back home when I was a child, a teenager, an undergrad, they all looked like someone else. They all sounded like someone else. How quickly and suddenly I had changed. I wasn't so small anymore, so afraid to speak, so afraid to make mistakes. I'm brighter now, I think, at least on some parts of myself. My wings, my belly. Maybe I'm finally learning to lift my mask. What would they call my coloration now? Washington plumage? Winter variation? I've been imagining myself as an entirely different species, but maybe I have been the same bird all along. Is it all the same inside? I wish I could say for sure. My younger self feels like a distant, murky memory and also like a mirror. How do I make sense of that? But the birds seem to know. At the crossing of territories, they still recognize their own kind in spite of the difference of feathers. The same bird song, the same short beak, but one has a darkness around the eyes, and another has orange on its back. One is gray and soft, another has more dynamic stripes along its wings. Still, they know each other somehow. I wish I had the same sureness, the same ability to recognize myself even as I change. I'm not certain if all I am doing is growing up. It's true, yes, that I'm entering the part of my life where people say you grow and change the quickest. Early 20s are giving way to mid-20s. Each day I feel I wake up slightly different than how I went to sleep. But there is something inside of me, something more inside of me, or at least that's how it feels. I'm a bird at heart. I'm the desert in my body. I'm intersecting myself. I'm the fledgling trying to figure out how to spread my wings and find the courage to take the first leap off the ledge. Thank you.